A Mesquite police officer dispatched to lower the volume at a Memorial Day barbecue. Ends up in a boxing match. And video of this thing has been watched over a million times today online. CBS 11's Andrea Lucia tonight at the Mesquite Police Department where she spoke to the officer. Andrea?
The officer, Winston Bowen, says this was all in good fun. This is a community he regularly patrols. He says he knows a lot of the people there and they know him. They just hadn't seen him like this until now.
It started with a noise complaint at Mesquite's Hillcrest Apartments.
Yeah, they were having a little barbecue, they were playing some music, and you had some kids out there with some gloves.
The crowd turned down the music, but challenged Officer Winston Bowen to a match, strapping a spare set of gloves on him.
There's this perception that sometimes police officers, you know, we have gun, we have badge, but we can't fight. So.
But this officer...
This is in 2006.
...has been boxing since he was 13.
I won that night.
So he accepted the invitation to spar.
Everybody loves him. They like him. Like, when he pulled up, like, they be like, ah, there go Officer Blade, you know.
People here call him Blade, like the superhero played by Wesley Snipes. And when he showed he could fight, the crowd went wild.
Officer Blade got him. Like, he still got him.
When Bowen's radio came loose, people stepped in to end the fight and to show their admiration.
You see the kids, kids coming up to me, you did great.
It's moments like this,
we hug, I mean physically hug,
that he believes break down some of the barriers between police and the minority communities they serve. A goal he's dedicated his life to.
Years ago, I made that decision. I've got to step in there, and I've got to make a difference.
The reaction on social.
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutations to the men of the hopeful and sincere elect. This is Makazar from Trend.com. Just want to do a little edification for the elect's sake. Alright, and the purpose of doing that video is showing that this is in America, right? And, you know, in American, police force is like, or even the naval force or the army force is basically, just like the mirror in the Roman army. Alright? Because people think when they hear about the Roman army, they were only Edomites in the army. No. They were different nations within that army. Alright? They were different people. Alright? So the reason why I brought this out because it's showing that in the neighborhood, all the people in the neighborhood, they like this Jake who was a police. Alright? And you're not gonna bring out scriptures and I'm gonna read an article just to show that guess what? Basically running off for Cornelius. Now because Cornelius was a Roman centurion, mean he was not an Israelite. Alright, so I get straight into it because battery is like it flying to cut off. This says Luke chapter 7 verse 1. Now when he had ended all his sayings in the audience of the people, he entered into Capernaum, and a certain centurion servant was there unto him, was sick and ready to die. And when he heard of Yahushai, he sent unto him the elders of the Jews, beseeching him that he would come to heal his servant. And when they came to Yahushai, they besought him instantly, saying that he was worthy of whom he should do this. For he loved our nation and he built us a synagogue. Alright? So the people had this Roman centurion in high regards. Alright? Said he loved our nation and he built us a synagogue. Just like the same thing with Cornelius, he said he's a man that as a devout man and did much alms deed. So he loved the nation. Now, if the Roman armies came in to conquer Jerusalem, why would they love their enemies? To build them a synagogue and to help them out. They wouldn't. They were Hebrew Israelites that were drafted in the Roman army. Alright? Just like Cornelius. And just like this video here is showing. Alright? There's in America, the land of Edom. The so-called land of Edom because it actually belonged to God. But it's the land of Edom where you have in the police force officer that is beloved of the people, just like this centurion here in Luke 7. All right. I don't really have much time. This is an article, I just downloaded the PDF. It says, Sons of Israel in Caesar's service, Jewish soldiers in the Roman military. And I'm going straight on to the second paragraph. All right, enlarge it a little bit. It says, in the year 69, which would have been 69 AD, all right, the Roman province of Judea was consumed by a 3-year rebellion, and that pitted Jewish zealots against the authority of the empire and the house of Herod. Not only was the revolt a destabilizing factor in the eastern regions of the empire, but it also posed a significant challenge to the new emperor Vespasian. In order to quell the Jewish revolt in the eastern marches, Vespasian resolved to send an army under the command of his son Titus, with explicit orders to crush the insurrection. Although the emperor's young son showed exceptional talent and tact for leadership, he lacked the military experience deemed necessary for a Roman general. Therefore, the emperor was forced to choose an able commander capable of assisting Titus in the Judean expedition. A great number of prestigious military men were available for the post, including Annius Venicius, son-in-law of the famed general Corbulo. But Vespasian made an unlikely choice of an Alexandrian Jew named Tiberius Julius Alexander. Now, when you go into the history of this guy, he was actually living in Alexandria, Egypt. He was born in Alexandria, Egypt, and his father grew him up in all the customs and the knowledge of the Romans. His father didn't want him to grow up as an Israelite with an Israelite background. And just like what's happening here right now, these people, you 2/3 of Israel, you don't want to know that you are Israelite. You rather just know that, hey, I'm a Trinidadian, I'm an American, or wherever the case is, wherever you've been taught in the land of captivity, that is where you want to run with. Worshipping white gods, all right? And not worshipping the true and living God, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right? Made an unlikely choice of an Alexandrian Jew named Titus Julius Alexander to spearhead the Roman army in its effort to thwart the Jewish uprising. The emperor's decision was to prove fortuitous, as not only did Tiberius Alexander coordinated Roman victory in Judea, but he also became Titus's trusted advisor, and may have eventually reached the rank of Praetorian prefect. Just like this guy, he was a high-ranking general, just like Cornelius. They were high men in the Roman army. All right? Just like when you go back into Babylonian captivity, Daniel was the head of the presidents. So it's not unlikely for Israel to be in high positions in other nations, and captivity of other nations is not unlikely. Just like when you go back to Egypt, you have Joseph. All right? So when you people say that Cornelius was not a Jew, hey, guess what? Cornelius was an Israelite. He was just an Israelite that was in the Roman army, and that is it. All right? Going on, despite the outstanding military career of this Alexandrian Jew, his name and his legacy are likely unknown outside a small circle of specialists. Likewise, the participation of Jews in the Roman military is a topic that is underemphasized or frankly ignored by historians. Most often, scholars quote the exemptions from military service granted to Jews at Ephesus and Delos, or elaborate on the difficulties that Sabbath observance and deity laws pose to Jewish men interested in serving under the imperial flag. When the issue of Jewish service in the Roman army is addressed, it is not without a certain degree of skepticism. and the Roman Jews in imperial service are often cast in light regards or apostates. Alright, so it's showing that, guess what? Throughout history, it had Israelites that were in the Roman army. Alright? They were in the Roman army. So Cornelius, he was an Israelite. Alright? The reason why Peter got that vision with the unclean animals is because the Jews, they considered the other tribes as unclean because they weren't keeping the law. That is why the scripture said, called uncircumcision by that which is called, that was made circumcision by the hand. Alright, so the Jews considered them as unclean. This is the final scripture here. This is Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 14. Again, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, thy brethren, even thy brethren, the men of thy kindred, and all the house of Israel holy, are they whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem have said, Get you far from Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Unto us is this land given in possession. And that is why they had a problem with them. It's not a new thing, it's an old thing. They've been going through that. They say, hey, get away from here, because this land is for us, not for you. Alright? So that is why Peter got that vision with the unclean animals. The unclean animals was representing the other tribes. That is why the angel told them what the Most High cleansed, call not thou unclean, because the Most High cleansed them and bringing them back to the heritage, which all of us ended up as those unclean animals, because all of us fell away. Alright, so with that, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Salutations to the men of the Hope Land, Sincere Elect. This is Makazar saying Shalom. 2018, a year of prophecies. Hey, stay strong.